Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Spumelele Zondi with your technology and social media news. Remember that if you want to be a part of our tech conversation, it's SABC Network. Now that's on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's newsnetwork at sabc.co.za. On email, today we are coming to you from Pietermaritzburg. This week our Twitter poll is asking if you think Huawei will survive the post-Android era. Results of that are coming up later in the program. But first, here's what's coming up tonight. It is a Child Protection Week, so we look at issues of cyberbullying online. We find out a few things about YouTube Music. And our conversation is with an app creator who's teaching people about maths and science. Many children spend a lot of time alone online. As it is a Child Protection Week, we look at issues of cyberbullying and how we can protect children online.
I really think it's really wrong having a relationship or online grooming a child. And I also think we should be safe online because we don't know what's going to happen in the outside.
I think the kids should use the internet for projects. They should use the internet to ask and answer some of the questions that they have.
While you may have grown up wandering the streets or visiting friends without telling your parents where you were going, giving your own children that kind of freedom is unthinkable for many parents today. In the age of smartphones, we are accustomed to knowing where our kids are at all times. But while smartphones can help keep your children safe by keeping them in constant contact, technology can also put them in danger online. Google is now positioning itself in schools as a trusted authority on digital citizenship.
Parents, you have a responsibility to take care of your child. We always say that children these days, their playground is the internet. So as a parent, if you're going to take them to that playground, you have to make sure that you supervise them and you take care of them. And then on another level, for children themselves, what we're talking about and what we're talking about today is that they've got rights as children, but they also have responsibilities. So while it's also important to emphasize that children have got the right to access knowledge, to access information, to go to school and all of those good things, they also have the right to use those opportunities responsibly. So we're trying to inculcate the citizenship at a very early age for them.
Cyberbullying is a growing concern, but there are practical tips and tools one can use to teach kids how to make smarter and safer choices as they navigate their online world.
So the things that we can do for children is to participate in programs like Web Rangers, where they can get access to the skills and listen to what the others are saying to help themselves. And critically, they need to learn the skills to self-regulate. I think for elder people, I don't think we've done anywhere near enough, to be honest, about making sure that their needs and their interests are protected.
A child should not be on their phone the whole afternoon when they come back from school. If they have the phone, limit the screen time. Do not go to the bedroom holding your phone. What are you going to be doing with your phone while you're supposed to be sleeping? Because clearly you're not sleeping.
While there are laws governing online activities, especially those involving minors, technology has outpaced the ability of law to define or control cyberbullying.
While South Africa, the law is an archaic process, it takes time, but we do have laws that are in place already with regards to social media, and we have laws that are being implemented. So there are some pieces of legislation that still haven't been enacted yet, but the law as it is still applies to the online space. So there are no separate cyberspace laws, and the body of the law applies to the online space as well.
Experts say we can all play our part in ensuring that digital products and services for children are setting benchmarks in best practice security, data protection and privacy, rather than hitting headlines for all the wrong reasons.
YouTube Music has come to South Africa. It allows you to listen to some of your favorite music on your Android device. We went to the recent launch in Durban recently. There was a time YouTube was just a website to share videos. Some musicians and music labels did not like their music on the site as they thought they'd lose sales. But YouTube came up with a method that ensured they could be paid for their music on the site. Now they've launched a separate app purely just for music. YouTube Music allows people to stream their favorite songs.
My favorite feature is Smart Search, which allows you to search for obscure lyrics. So you can search for lyrics, you can search by describing a song, you can search by just going, it had this person in it. So that's really, really cool. And the offline mixtape, which it automatically creates for you based on your taste and music you've been listening to without you having to think about it. So that's really good. And obviously the audio video toggle. So sometimes you just want to listen to a song, you don't want a video. Other times you actually want a video. So it gives you the option between both of them.
As they launched YouTube Music in Durban, Google invited the cream of the city's entertainment industry.
It's great to see YouTube playing into the space of Google Music, your iTunes, and all of that. Also with the added bonus of being a Google product and coming with videos. So it's very interesting. It's going to be quite interesting to see how it goes into the market.
But I can listen to local acts, I can listen to Omo, I can listen to all the music that I look forward to on YouTube.
Some love the fact that one can stream offline if downloaded with Wi-Fi, thus saving on data.
We listen to a lot of music, but we're always looking for that way to kind of reduce your cost when you're kind of streaming music. So, I mean, if YouTube Music is going to help us minimize my cost, I'm all for that.
I am excited about the offline feature because when you're flying, you actually need to be listening to music that you like, because it can also tell what kind of music you like.
Google says since the YouTube Music launch in South Africa, Teleman, Nasty C and Normani have been some of the most streamed artists in South Africa. As people, we use all kinds of digital devices to communicate. That's one of the discussions that was taking place at an Africa Comms Week event that took place in Johannesburg recently. Producer Lebusi Chake was there.
We are looking at how can Africa lead disruptive innovation when it comes to communications, and in the South African context we are looking at what does the fourth industrial revolution mean for us as communicators. For us, we have a couple of problems that we have two very separate communities, as in those who have access to data, those who have access to information, and those who have access to the internet itself, and those who are on the other end who don't have access to smartphones, who don't have access to the internet. So as communicators, it means that we must always straddle between those two, so we can't really move completely and be at the same level as the world in terms of trying to take advantage of all the technologies that are out there. So there are many things that we're not able to do yet, primarily because data is expensive. Even a smartphone is not easily accessible in our market. Our competitive advantage, obviously, is that technologies are out there, and as Africans, we understand our problems better than anyone else in the world. So I think, as the Professor Paul, who was speaking earlier, was saying, no one in the West is going to come and collect the data. We are here, we are in communities, we must collect our data so that we can build solutions that make sense to us.
It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Welcome back. Today we are coming to you from Pietermaritzburg. Now, maths and science are often said to be the subjects that one needs in order to solve complex problems in the tech space. So we asked some members of the public how they feel about maths and science.
Two answers. At first I didn't, because who likes maths in school? And then when I got to about grade 10, that's when I understood the mathematics. How can I put this? I understood the reason behind maths. And after that, I was able to like it. But most importantly, I liked it only because of physics and engineering, graphics and design.
I did like maths at school, but the reason was my teacher. And he was a very unusual man. One day he brought in a bathtub type thing and filled it with baked beans, and that's how we learned about calculating volume. So I think it was very much because of this one teacher.
Open Omnia is a new mobile phone application that helps people with mathematics. It was created by Pietermaritzburg native Lloyd Gordon. I had a conversation with him. Lloyd Gordon, thank you very much for being a part of our network. Now, why did you see the need that you had to start Open Omnia?
Thanks for having me. So Open Omnia is an app that breaks down maths problems step by step. So you actually enter in a maths problem and it breaks it down for you. There are notes, there are exercises. So it's actually an all-round app that helps in more than one way. It's not just a solver, but it actually has notes, actually has exercises, and then actually grades you on how you did.
Now, is it for all students or is it for certain types of students?
It's mainly for like late high school, like grade 10, 11, 12. And also it has tertiary level mathematics. So, because South Africa is a bit behind with mathematics, so that is why I'm seeing downloads from India and America and different places. So, because maths is a universal language.
Why is that, and how is South Africa behind?
The mathematical topics we have, that we have in varsity, you find that other countries are doing them in high school, And so we are behind in that way, and the level of mathematical literacy in South Africa is very behind.
Why would South Africans run away from maths and science?
Obviously, not everyone has the affinity and aptitude for maths, but it's something I strongly encourage to do. Opens up a lot of opportunities to start, and even after high school, opens up more opportunities for you. And so I strongly recommend it.
And why did you think it was for you to start something like Open Omnia?
We have so many problems with teachers not being there in high schools. You find that the mathematical literacy in South Africa is very bad. And so before I even look at making money, it was a social justice issue that I wanted to tackle. And so I felt it appropriate for me to actually tackle that problem.
You were a finalist at an Itala Bank competition. Why do you see the need to enter such things?
First of all, you're there for a week, and it's kind of like you actually learn about business, and you're not learning from people who know the theory behind it, but you actually learn from guys who are in business, so it's a recruiting process, and you actually learn how to pitch. You learn more about business, and so it was a great platform for me to learn, and it was a great platform for exposure for me.
Is there support for people like you in the tech innovation space in Pietermaritzburg?
To be honest with you, PMB is very slow, but you obviously did get like support from the municipality with whatever they could help me with. They actually did try, but Durban obviously has more opportunities there. There's more tech stations there, and so more tech hubs there, and so yeah.
What's your plan with Open Omnia now?
Obviously to grow it. When I look at most of the feedback that comes in from the users, most of it is language, because mostly from Spanish countries, people are actually saying like we would love this in our language, I actually never thought about that, because in Venezuela they speak Spanish, like English is not even something that they speak, and so yeah, obviously that, and then obviously scale it up. It's being used in over 50 countries, and so yeah, I want to grow it more, scale up more.
In the fourth industrial revolution, can people really do without mathematics?
I don't think so. Mathematics is needed for like artificial intelligence. It's needed for a lot of things in terms of coding and machine learning. And so in the fourth industrial revolution, maths is a core prerequisite, and so I don't think you can go on without it.
Lord Gordon, thank you very much for being a part of our network tonight.
Hello, hi, this is Boujivikwa, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. My favorite technology, right? My favorite form of technology, using the right English, it's my cell phone. I am obsessed. I type, I work, I print, I do videos, my whole life is in here, like literally on my cell phone. And then there's what we call the microwave. Quick, fast, then out. That's it.
We're here at the Brand Experience Johannesburg to launch the all-new Range Rover Evoque. Technology is very important in this vehicle. New features and first to market features include clear side ground view, clear side rear view camera, as well as terrain response 2, and also incorporates in-control touch duo. That is a dual touchscreen first introduced on the Velar. Technology in this vehicle is in a wide range, so it's from the connectivity on the interior. So we've introduced a 4G hotspot. You can connect up to 8 devices. It's got up to 6 USBs, 3 12-volt charging points. It's got touch duo infotainment system that's got displays different information on the touch screens. It also has an interactive TFT screen that you can configure to your heart's content.
The technology is completely different compared to the first one. I like the updates. They have 2 major screens at the bottom and at the top, and they've updated the systems, they updated the software, which is really great, and they've updated some of the things that the previous model didn't have. One of the quirks that I like is that on the side mirror, not the side mirror, the mirror at the front, if you can't see at the back because obviously of the design of the car, you can just click a button, then there's a camera at the top of the car that shows you the rear view mirror.
SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Welcome back. That is the tallest building in the Southern Hemisphere behind me. It's the Pietermaritzburg City Hall. Now here's what else took place in the rest of the world in the tech space.
China's Huawei Technologies remains confident in its 5G production program and said its inclusion in the so-called entity list by the US was unwarranted.
We think the entity listing is unwarranted. We think it should be reversed. We think that the global supply chain, there are many companies, there are thousands and thousands of people all over the world, many of whom do not carry an American passport, who are now being affected by a law enacted by the US government. Is that fair? Is it reasonable? We believe it's not.
Huawei has been facing mounting scrutiny led by the United States amid worries its equipment could be used by Beijing for spying. The company, however, says the concerns are unfounded. And now in the USA. Developers of a multi-rotor hovercraft billed as the first flying vehicle to be powered by hydrogen fuel cells unveiled a full-scale model in Southern California in a show and tell that raised some eyebrows but never left the ground.
Well, our Sky vehicle is a personal transportation solution for mobility solution. It's a clean vehicle, meaning it has a hydrogen power, which is totally end-to-end clean energy. It's a low noise by this design of these rotors, where we have them intended to have very low noise signature, which is both clean environmentally. It's capable of flying 4 or 5 passengers, depending upon whether you have a pilot or not.
Although FAA rules will require pilot operation, developers expect the vehicles ultimately will be flown autonomously by pre-programmed guidance system. Now we head to Germany. Deutsche Telekom and German air traffic control Deutsche Flugsicherung have entered into a joint venture called Dronik to further develop the market for drones with remote-controlled long-haul flights.
We see a large economic use of drones, but with today's technology, they are not yet in full use. However, our technology enables us to do so because the drones need to be able to fly outside the visibility range. If I fly my drone outside the visibility range, I want to know where it is, and I do not want it to collide with other flying objects. Maybe I need for it to transmit live pictures or data. All that we are not able to do at the moment, but it will be possible with the technology provided by Dronik GmbH company.
Dronik expects a turnover of 20 million euros in 2 to 3 years. There are already tangible orders from security forces, rescue services and industrial companies, according to the company.
Now this week, our Twitter poll is asking if you think Huawei can survive the post-Android era. There are also those who say Samsung will be the ultimate winner when Huawei is no longer Android. Now, responses to our poll. 61% of respondents say yes, Huawei will survive. That number is at the majority. In second place is 18%. Those people say no, Huawei will not survive. There's 9%, and that figure is in last place. Those are people who say they just don't know. There is also 12% of you who say you just don't care. We also had responses from Mr. Chachang, who says, Huawei, can the brand be trusted? I owned one and I couldn't even root it. Dreamline Baraka says, yes, change is good. It brings new ideas, technology and competition while lowering pricing. He says he's sticking with Huawei no matter what changes they implement. Android is not the ultimate mobile operating system. Dumbale says BlackBerry was at its most successful when it had its own operating system. And Donald Mbele says the Chinese will find the cure in the long run if this trade war continues. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Write to us on News Network at sabc.co.za on email. From me and the rest of the team right here at the Pietermaritzburg City Hall, have a good one. Good night.